So this interspecies reviewer stuff over at Funimation is not going away. As much as they'd like it to go away, people are relentlessly trying to figure out what's going on. And they've come up with some pretty interesting theories that we're going to go over, as well as some other stuff. So people are actually canceling their Funimation subscription over this as well, which I find absolutely wonderful. I encourage everyone to cancel their Funimation subscriptions because they're not a very good company. The way they treat fans, the way they let their workers treat fans, the way they treat their customers, no thanks. So like I was saying, Kiss Anime, I don't think I've ever heard of Kiss Anime dumping on customers. I think if you want to watch anime over there legally, you should be okay. As far as Crunchyroll and Funimation, no thanks. I'm never signing up for their anime services. I will go with somebody else that doesn't poop on me. Or maybe I'll just, go to the C's, the 7 C's. I can always go there. That's a place to go get anime for nothing. And I don't have to worry about it. So that's always an option. So as far as interspecies reviewers go, there's still a lot of people pressing Funimation for actual answers, and there's a lot of people trying to dissect it. It's turned into like a fun little conspiracy, to be honest, to follow. And a lot of people make really good points. So interspecies reviewers isn't a hentai, it's more of an ecchi anime. So it doesn't quite cross some borders, but it's pretty lewd. And there's other anime that they've had, notably the ones right here in this meme, where like, sorry dude, nobody can handle you, and then Funimation is going to bring it over here. But you know what? Look at all these other animes here. Prison School comes to mind. There's one called High School XD. They do dub those. And from what people are, I've only seen Prison School. Prison School is pretty lewd. I haven't seen the other ones that people are talking about, but the Prison School one is pretty lewd. I think interspecies reviewers is a little bit lewder and almost hentai, but not quite there. You don't quite see some of the things you would see in that. But nonetheless, Funimation chose to pick it up. Why can't you just give a real statement? And they're refusing to do that. And it's not working out very well for them. As you can see, Funimation continues to receive backlash for removing interspecies reviewers as new claims spark speculation on reason behind decision. And it's not going to stop. Funimation makes mistake after mistake after mistake. So I wonder what the next one will be. This one was a pretty big mess up, I gotta say. Like, they were actually simulcasting the show. What that is, basically, if you don't know, show airs in Japan, and then maybe the next day they will actually show, or actually I think it's within an hour or two, like really fast. It's really quick now. So like an hour or two, you can watch the sub version. And then I think the dub comes out a couple days later. They're gotten pretty quick about it. Too bad they're a garbage company, and I'll never watch their dubs again. But the subtitling was at least spot on and close and fast. They were actually showing a couple of episodes, and then they just pulled it for no reason. So if you would sign up for that show specifically, like Joshua James Womack here, who says, I decided to cancel Funimation today. The interspecies reviewers anime was the only unique anime I could not get anywhere else. If they return it or add some unique anime that I cannot get from Crunchyroll, Netflix, or Hulu, then I will return. Really like the interspecies reviewers a lot. I understand it was risky for Funimation to stream. Really sad too, as I have been a long-time subscriber. Censorship sucks. And some people are hitting them with some really good questions. So I don't have the Funimation streaming service. I've never had it, so I don't know. But there are options apparently to disable adult content and regular content. So you would think if you have an option like that, what's the point of even having it then if you're going to pull anime like this? It really doesn't make any sense. So people are asking stuff like this. What is the point of having an option to enable or disable adult content from showing? So what if this isn't for kids? You have an option not to show it. This was very entertaining, and this winter season is incredibly bland for anything that stands out in anime, and it was the one thing that was hilariously different. If your viewers want to watch something lewd like this, you have the settings for them to block anime with lewd content. There is no point to get rid of it other than pandering to stockholders instead of your viewers. Someone get High Dive to pick this up. Now, the problem is I don't think they can. Because We're going to go over some of the reasons that people think that Funimation did this. One of them was just to get it so no one else could. And I think that's likely what's going on here. Funimation, never forget, is in competition with other streaming services. So for them to pick this up and just sit on it is still a win for them, because now other people can't release that content. Further, still giving them the advantage. It's one less anime that other people can't add. They can just sit on it and still kind of thrive. They don't really need to show it. They can just make sure nobody else has it legally, which I think is kind of what they're going to do with it. I don't think they're going to give the IP up. I don't think they're going to sell it back. I don't think they're going to sell it to anybody else. I don't think they're going to drop it. I think they're just going to sit on it. And like I was saying before, they obviously have no problem with lewd, ecchi anime, as this person right here over on Reddit's pointing out. I know threads of these have already popped up and I'm beating a dead horse, but this is BS. Funimation has access to Passion One's script, and I'm certain that the Japanese liaison would have told them what this show was about. They can't claim ignorance of the show's premise. Secondly, they took no issue with having High School DxD, Mermaid Overdrive, and other ecchi shows on their site. Yes, I know they don't go as far as interspecies reviewers, but it's still hypocritical to champion one over the other. Funimation is all about progressiveness. How about championing the sex positivity that interspecies reviewers promotes? Thirdly, Funimation can't claim any form of family friendliness facade when they're hosting ecchi shows on their site. Those aren't family friendly, so moralizing that the show is out of their standards is a moot point. I thought that was a really, really good statement by this person, because yes, they do have lots of lewd and ecchi shows, like they pointed out. I called it High School XD earlier. It's DxD. It didn't mention Prison School. Should have talked about that one. That one's pretty lewd. So this argument that it falls out of their standards really doesn't make any sense, considering the shows they already have on there. What is the real reason that this one isn't allowed? Like people point out, you can turn the settings off. You can turn settings on to make sure kids don't see it. You have other similar shows on there, maybe not quite as hardcore, but nonetheless, you don't really see anything go in anything during interspecies reviewers, if you know what I'm saying. There's no keymaster going into the gatekeeper, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm just confused here, and a lot of people are. When it's leading to full-on conspiracy theories, which I find funny. People are like, you're leaving people to speculate. All you're doing now is causing resentment between your fan base and your subscribers and your customers and yourself, and that's not good. So the quest for answers is never going to end on this. In fact, one of the voice actresses that was tied to it did a Q&A on Ask Me Anything, and she actually had to go and put a thing in the description saying, look, I don't know any more than you guys do, because they were flooding the questions with that. They wanted to know what's going on. She said, look, I don't know anything more than you. I said, I am not a representative of Funimation. My words are not their words. I just show up and act in the shows when they hire me to. I am not part of these decisions. I and anyone else acting in the show have no more information than all of you do. The post going around saying that it has been dropped was my first time hearing about it. I don't know what happens next, what will happen with the sub-dub, etc. I enjoyed working on the show, and I'm sad to hear this news too. So they were actually dubbing the show. I don't think the voice actors had anything to do with this. I know a lot of people were throwing around Monica Rial. I don't think so. This was a higher up decision. These people make, they make a little bit of money, but it's mostly the fan base that they make off of playing the characters when they go to conventions that they make big money. So they don't want to lose this show. Do you know how many people would have really loved this show? These shows get really devoted followings. So I don't think that it's in their best interest to see a show like this canceled. So I don't think the voice actors are at fault here. I don't. I think this was a higher up decision, and they don't want to say why. They knew what was in this show. They knew what kind of content they were getting, and they didn't want to talk about it. So now people are coming up with like full-blown conspiracy theories trying to figure it out. Like Funimation licensed the IP to stop other companies from getting it. Funny licensed the IP not realizing what they got into, the material being more than ecchi. The most interesting one, as this person points out, part of Funimation didn't have an issue with the IP, but the other part did. An internal conflict ensued. Funny was protecting themselves and VAs involved with the Vic case, given the material of the IP, fear of negatively affecting the suit. For them, production team were unhappy with the material once they recorded episode 1 and refused to continue. All these are decent theories. I don't know. Like I said, we have no idea. But I love that this isn't going away. I love that people keep hounding them for answers. I love that people are canceling their subscriptions for it. This is all good stuff to me because they should have to say why. Like, people are paying money for this. People signed up for your service for this. And if you're just going to yank it after showing it, well, what's the reason? You can't just give like a short statement like that, especially after you gave that long one for Vic last year, and all you're going to say about this is that it falls out of your standards. Come on, Funimation. Let people know what's going on. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Personally, I love anytime Funimation gets into hot water because I think they're a POS company. So let me know your thoughts on this, guys. I'd like to hear what you have to say about all this. Also, throw a like up. Hit that notification bell if you would. If you're new, subscribe. If you've been subscribed for a while, make sure you're still subscribed. That's a thing that's going on. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys share the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.